on a Monday. So I want to just make sure that we are live. Yes, we are live, or we're getting there at some point. I keep getting this error, but like we always do, we're going to roll with it. I'm going to keep it moving. Welcome back. It's Monday, and I am going to be broadcasting live. And as I do every single time I go live, I will be broadcasting live on Facebook and on Instagram. So I am going to bring in the Instagram folks right now so we can just go ahead and get started. How's that sound to y'all? Let's go Facebook, Instagram. How you doing, Instagram? Welcome on a Monday to a bonus live video. Y'all know I like to do this sometime. I'm not going to be before you long. And as I do every single time I go live, I am simulcasting both on Instagram and I am also broadcasting live on Facebook. My name is Nick Scott, and I am a personal brand coach where I help women entrepreneurs grow their personal brand. So that is what I do. That is why I'm here. And today's live video is specifically going to be about personal branding. You know, because I spend a lot of time on the internet. I spend a lot of time on social media. And I have been seeing some terrible advice going around about personal branding. Personal branding is a buzzword. It's trendy for some people. It's one of those things that some people feel like they're going to have to, that they can ignore, or that they can just completely put on the back burner. And that's not true. Now, this advice that I've been seeing going around is basically telling people if you want to grow your personal brand, you have to do more. And that's not the case. That is not my experience. That is not the experience of my clients. That's not even really good sound advice. So I wanted to get on here today to really clarify some things for y'all. And I know this is a little different than what we usually do, right? We're used to me coming on here on Wisdom Wednesday and dropping a piece of wisdom. You can take this as wisdom, you can take this as advice, or you can take this as a training, which is what I'm intending it for it to be. So before we get started, I do have a few things that I want to remind you of. I'm not going to be before you long, just about 15 or 20 minutes. But I do encourage you to grab something to drink, grab a snack. If you're hungry, I know it's after lunchtime and right before dinner, so you might be hungry. So grab a snack and a drink. Have a pen and a notebook nearby and handy, because I am going to be dropping a framework. And this is a new framework that I'm going to introduce you to, and I want you to be able to capture all of the goodness that I'm going to be dropping here today on Facebook and Instagram. And then the last thing that I want you to do is I want you to tag somebody or share this video with them. Tag somebody or share this video with them, because I am going to be talking about the number one mistake that you're probably making with your personal brand. And it's not that you're not doing enough, okay? That is not the mistake that you're making, okay? So without further ado, we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. So what is the number one mistake that you are probably making with your personal brand? Does anybody want to guess at what that is? Does anybody want to guess what the number one mistake that you're making with your personal brand? Because it is not that you're not doing enough. That's not what it is. It's the fact that you're probably lacking focus. You're probably lacking focus. So remember I said earlier, the advice that I'm seeing going around the internet and in other Facebook groups, they are telling people that they need to do more if they want to accelerate and grow their personal brand. And I'm here to tell you today that it is the opposite. You don't need to do more. The problem with your personal brand and why you're not seeing that connection and that alignment with your business is because you probably lack focus. And here's the framework that I'm going to give to y'all. It is focus. Focus. So the F, the first mistake that you're probably making with your personal brand is that you don't even remember, that you forget. You just flat out forget that you have a personal brand. Because for some reason, even in 2020, we have entrepreneurs, we have small business owners, we have professionals that still believe they don't have a personal brand. I don't know how that works and how that happens, but I'm here to tell you today that you have a personal brand, and because you have a personal brand, you should not be forgetting about it. Because at its core, your personal brand is a widely recognized impression of you. Okay? And everybody has an impression of you. And a lot of times it is a wide impression of you. For example, if you work in an office setting, there's always that one person in the office setting. Let's just say she always wears her hair in a bun, and she wears these bright red glasses, right? So she's probably known around the office as, the one that wears the bun with the bright red glasses. That is a widely recognized impression of you, right? So whatever that is, you already have a personal brand, and it behooves you for you to start to manage it. Further, your personal brand isn't just those physical attributes that people start to associate with you, but it's also your experience, your professional and your personal experience. It is your expertise. It is the actions. It is your achievements. These things make up your personal brand. Remember, it is a widely recognized impression of you. You already have a personal brand. So the first mistake that you're probably making is that you forget that you even have a personal brand. You focus on all these other things in your business that you forget that this thing called a personal brand is a real thing, and it is something that you should be paying attention to. Now the O is that you obsess over metrics on social media that don't matter. For those of you that don't know my history, I spent many years managing social media accounts for companies, for entrepreneurs, for businesses. And in fact, that was my profession before I left my job to do what I'm doing full time. And you are probably focusing on metrics that absolutely don't matter. What happened in social media is sad, because what happened is it went from being this place for people to socialize and to connect and to make meaningful connections with each other into this place where all we care about are numbers, vanity metrics, right? Vanity metrics like followers. Are followers important? Sure. Followers are important for a specific reason and for specific platforms, right? Followers are important on YouTube, so you can reach a certain threshold. Followers are important on Instagram, so you can reach a certain threshold, and so you can access more features within these platforms. But by and large, the amount of followers you have does not equate. Let me say that again. The number of followers that you have does not equate to the amount of money that you make. It does. Y'all write that down. The amount of followers that you have does not equate to the amount of money that you're making with your business. Nor does it equate to the awareness that you are having with your business. It doesn't equate to the impact that you're making with your followers and your prospective clients and your target audience. Y'all write that in the chat. The number of followers that you have does not equate to the amount of money you make. That vanity metric does not matter. What matters instead of the number of followers you have is the number of engaged followers you have. Okay? the number of engaged followers you have. If you have 100,000 followers and only 10 of those people, because this happens, let's be clear, only 10 of those people are engaged with your content, how impactful is that? Do you think that's increasing awareness for your business? Do you think that you are able to increase your revenue by leaps and bounds just because you have 100,000 followers? No. But if you have 100 followers and 95% of those people are engaged with your content, what type of impact does that have for your business and your personal brand? So the O in focus is that you obsess over metrics that don't matter, and followers is the very first one. That is a vanity metric. Like I said, yes, when it comes to certain social media platforms, YouTube and Instagram, I can think off the top of my head, followers matter if you want to reach a certain threshold and access certain features within those social media platforms. Other metrics that you're probably obsessing about that don't really matter is your likes. The number of likes that you receive on a post. Back in the day, likes mattered. They really did. The number of likes that you had on your Instagram post or your Facebook post, it really did matter. But here's the truth. As we're heading into 2021 and beyond, a like is the least valuable metric on social media. And I'm about to prove it to you. Write down in your notes the last 50 posts that you liked. No, you know what? 50 is a lot. Without going back and looking, write down the last 10 posts that you liked. Just liked. That you just scrolled through and liked. Write it down. Can you even remember? Liking a post is passive engagement. So remember when I said that social media was designed to make meaningful connections and to connect with people on an emotional and deep level? A like is not that anymore. A like does not do that anymore. A like is passive engagement, and it is the least valuable metric on social media. Now, let me pause with that. Is a like better than nothing? Yes. A like is better than nothing. So if you are out supporting your biz besties or your friend or your cousin or whoever has a business on social media, and you're just scrolling through and liking everything on their posts as an effort and a way to show your support for them, it's better than just scrolling by and not having any engagement. But it is the least valuable metric on social media. So then what's more valuable than a like? Comments. Comments are more valuable than a like. If you really want to support your biz bestie and your fellow entrepreneurs and your fellow womanpreneurs with the content that they're sharing on social media, leave a comment, and not just an emoji, an actual meaningful comment. Strike up a conversation. Comments matter, but even more than comments are shares. Focus on the number of shares. Start to obsess, instead of obsessing over followers and likes, obsess over the amount of comments that you have. There's nothing worse to me as a personal brand expert and as a coach than for my clients or my prospective clients to post and ghost. If somebody is taking the time out of their day to comment something meaningful on your post, the least you could do is comment something meaningful back. So I encourage you to do that starting today. When someone comments something meaningful, even if it is just an emoji, if someone leaves 4 heart emojis, you can probably respond to that comment with 4 emojis as a response. Because they took the time, even if it is just an emoji, but they took the time out of their day and out of their schedule to engage with your post. And as I just said, a comment is weighted more heavily than a like. And then I said shares. Shares means that your post is something good. That means it is something golden. That these people your clients, your target followers are feeling so good and inspired by your post that they're actually sharing it with their audience. That's huge. So start to obsess over that metric. Another metric that I think a lot of people are missing is a relatively new feature on Instagram. So this is specifically for Instagram, and that is the save feature, right? Did you know that you can save somebody's posts and then you can go back and refer to it? Yeah, you could do that. And that is really, 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 really valuable, because not only does that post make your target follower stop and look at what you're saying, but they're like, this is so good and delicious that I want to save it so I can come back to it next time. And then last but not least, this is like a hidden metric. And only within Facebook groups, I believe, is the only place that you can see this metric, but it matters on all social media platforms. And that is the amount of time that your target follower, and I'm using the word target follower very intentionally, right? Because we just said a bunch of followers don't matter. But this metric is the time that your target followers spends on your post. How much time is your follower spending on your post? That is a metric that matters. That is a metric that matters very heavily with the algorithm. So if you notice, if you follow me on any social media, I write pretty much dissertations in my caption areas. And so do a lot of other people. So do a lot of other people. So do a lot of other entrepreneurs. And it's not by accident. Now, some people are probably doing it just because their favorite coach or whoever does it. But there's a strategy behind it. There is a real strategy behind it, because the longer you spend on my post or her post or his post or their post reading that caption, that time matters. That time matters. So the other thing that I want you to do, besides start commenting and engaging in a meaningful conversation with your target followers, is I want you to start to write longer captions on your posts. Because that time on post metric, it matters. And like I said, the only place that I've been able to find that you can actually see that is within your Facebook group. Okay? So the mistakes that you're probably making, you forget that you have a personal brand, but you do. So start remembering that you have a personal brand. And then the O is that you are obsessing over metrics that don't matter. And by and large, it is the number of followers that you have. Now, the C in focus is that you consume more content than you create. You are spending hours and hours and hours on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Pinterest, on TikTok. Whatever it is, whatever your preferred platform is, you're spending way more time consuming content on that platform than you are creating it. So one real harsh piece of advice that I give my clients is that if you have time to consume content on a given social media platform, then you have time to create it. Somebody drop that in the chat. If you have time to consume content, you have time to create it. The number one reason that people say they don't manage their personal brand is because they don't have time. That's a trick of the enemy, y'all. Because if you have time to consume the content, you have time to create it. And then the U in focus is that you undervalue yourself. Are you undervaluing yourself? This is where we get into that mindset, right? That mindset of what it takes to build an impactful and profitable personal brand. Because so many times we discredit our own experience and expertise. Remember the definition I gave you about a personal brand is that it's a widely recognized impression of you based on a bunch of things, But two of those things I said were experience and expertise. We are the worst at minimizing and discrediting our own experience and expertise. We are the worst at minimizing the results that we've achieved, personally and professionally. We forget about things that we've done. We forget that we have receipts. We undervalue ourselves. And when we undervalue ourselves and our brand, then chances are we're undervaluing our products, we're undervaluing our services, and we're not seeing the growth in our brands and our businesses that we deserve because we are self-sabotaging ourselves. We trick ourselves into thinking that we're not enough, that we don't have enough degrees, that we don't have enough certifications, that we don't have enough training. That is flat out not true. If you were called to start a business in whatever industry it is, then you have enough. If it was placed on your heart, then you have enough. That mindset thing will hold us back every time, not just in our personal brands, y'all, but in our businesses. So stop undervaluing yourself. Stop undervaluing your achievements. Stop undervaluing the contributions that you have made professionally and personally. Stop undervaluing yourself. And then the S in focus is that you seek overnight results. I hope you're not seeking overnight results, y'all. Because this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Personal branding is a marathon, it is not a sprint. Building your business is a marathon, it is not a sprint. So if you're seeking overnight results and you're looking for the silver bullet or the magic bullet that's going to make you an overnight success, it ain't out there. It doesn't exist. It's a marathon, not a sprint. You have to have more than 30 days worth of data before you decide whether or not a certain strategy works. You have to. One post on YouTube is not going to give you enough data or enough insight as to whether or not you should continue to do YouTube videos. You got to put in some sweat equity into this thing, y'all. Sweat equity. Maybe not literal sweat, unless you're, a fitness guru or something like that. But you have to start to invest in yourself, in your brand, in your business, right? So the number one mistake that you're probably making with your personal brand is that you lack focus, right? And remember, focus was the framework that I introduced you to. I said F was you forget that you have a personal brand. O, you are obsessing over metrics that don't matter. C, you consume more content than you create. The U is that you undervalue yourself. Remember, that's that mindset, right? We got to get our minds right. We have to get our heads in the game. And then the S is that you are seeking overnight results. Okay? So fast forward back to the beginning of this broadcast. If you missed it, I encourage you to watch the replay. Watch the replay. And what I want you to do is in the comment section, I want you to leave your light bulb or your aha moments or things that just made you go, what are some of those things? Leave them in the comment section on the replay of this video and make sure that you share it. Make sure that you are not making this personal branding mistake, which is lacking FOCUS. Okay? And also, I wanted to let you know that I am going to be doing these videos a couple times a week over the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. And I hope that you enjoy it. It's a little different, like I said, than what we do on Wisdom Wednesday. But I hope that you are finding this helpful. And let me know if you are. That's something that you can drop down in the comments as you watch the replay. Again, my name is Nick Scott. I am a personal brand coach where I help women entrepreneurs not just establish, not just grow, but maintain their personal brands. And I appreciate you if you have been rocking with me over the duration of this broadcast. I will see y'all on Wisdom Wednesday. All right. Bye.